Hey guys, welcome to another Pick a Card reading. Today's reading is going to be all about what is being eclipsed from your life. So, what major breakthroughs are you having? What cycles need to end? What is it that you need to shed? What needs to fall away in order for a new cycle to begin for you? So, we have 3 different tarot decks here. This will be group number 1, group number 2, and group number 3. You can feel free to pause the video if you need more time to make your selections. And once you're ready, I will have the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello everyone, welcome to your reading. If you chose the first group, pile number 1, or this tarot deck right here. Today we are going to do a reading on what is being eclipsed out of your life. What are you getting ready to shed, to drop, to leave behind? What major breakthrough is currently on its way? So we're first going to get the general energies so that we can see what is the current energy for you right now. What may you be going through, experiencing at this moment? It's also a really good way to gauge whether or not this message is for you, whether or not, the general energy resonates with you. And if it does resonate, then it's just further confirmation that this is your message. And then we're also going to get advice from Spirit at the end. We may use oracle cards. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna just go with the flow and see what I feel in the moment. But it may just be tarot cards today. But okay, let's get started. So let's see, what are the general energies for this group right now? Current energies. So for you guys, I'm seeing that there's a lot of options here. There's some decisions that you need to make, that you need to weigh out. I feel that you have so many options, so many offers. And when that happens, it can become really overwhelming or difficult to make a decision, to choose something, because there's just so much on the table that you can choose. So right now, you're just really trying to see what it is that you are emotionally going to be fulfilled by, what's going to be in your best interest emotionally, and what's going to make the most sense for you practically as well, like in the real world, in your everyday life. You just really want to make the right decision, so that's why you are wanting to make sure that whatever decision you choose is going to kind of like check off all of your boxes, is something that will help you to continue to cultivate and build up your material world while also feeling very calm and at peace and fulfilled emotionally, just feeling like you're being very true to yourself. You just want comfort. That's what I'm seeing here, is you're looking for comfort, stability, and you're really just trying to choose, choose whatever options you are being faced here with. You are just trying to make a decision and keeping those priorities in mind. So yeah, I do see you kind of just being like in a really good position here. You have so many options and you're just trying to choose which one of these options is going to be the highest cup. So it's really just up to you. You just have to choose and then go from there. Okay, so let's move on and find out then, what is it that is being eclipsed from your life? Oh, the Tower. Okay, so what's being eclipsed out of your life is working for the sake of it, working out of habit, working just for the money, just for the stability. I just think that you are ready to invest in and do things creative, that fulfill you, that you love. I feel like you're just at a point in your life where you're able to do this. Maybe you're at a point in life where you already kind of put in your years of work where you built something up and, you've cultivated something stable for yourself by kind of like working a traditional job that you don't necessarily love or have any emotional connection to, but you are just simply doing it as a means of survival, as, because you're getting a paycheck, because it's providing that type of material stability for you. And I feel like you are at a point right now where you're able to assess what is it that's going to make you happy, what is it that's going to fulfill you, and you're ready to make your daily work something that you truly love, something that keeps you calm and peaceful, emotionally stable and regulated. I feel like if you had to work a job that was very stressful, that, had a lot of demands, I see you just being like over it, like you're over that type of energy, you don't want it anymore. And the fact that you do have all of these options that we mentioned, I feel like it is stressful, it is burdensome to you, because often it is, like it means that we don't really have a lot of direction. And when we don't really have a lot of direction, things can seem very confusing, hazy, like you don't know what way should I go, like it becomes overwhelming, or it can become overwhelming, versus like if you just had like one clear trajectory, one option, then it's just like, okay, this is what spirit is putting right in front of me, so this is my path, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm headed. But when you have so many open doors, you're kind of like, like which one of these doors should I go through? Like it's not just one pathway, I have 7, for example. So that's kind of causing conflict. The fact that you have so many options, like you don't know, like you're not sure which direction to take just yet, but I do see you like in the process of making that choice, making that decision. And I do feel that you've reached like a different level of your life, of your experience, where you want to experience something different. You want to create like a new foundation. So I do see that this could be regarding work, but it could just also be regarding just everyday life, your everyday life changing, shifting, moving. And because you don't have like a clear trajectory, a clear direction, it can be a little bit shaky, a little bit burdensome. It feels scary, just kind of like going into the unknown like this. But I feel like you do have a deep knowingness that, financially or in a material way, in a tangible way, you are okay. I feel like you've built yourself up to a point where, you're fine on a material level. I feel that you are someone that may be like in a progressed level in their career that has reached, some type of high achieving level, success, stability. This is more so about your emotional fulfillment and your happiness, and be able to have like free creative expression. And yeah, this choice is hard. Like I'm saying that whatever choice you have to make, it's definitely a very difficult choice. And it's a difficult choice because I feel like either way you go, there's some type of like sadness attached to this decision. The 9 of Pentacles, to clarify this. So maybe it's that, you have a business partner, or there's like a group of people that you work with, and I feel that maybe the decision that you're leaning towards is kind of like separating yourself from these people. And you may have worked with these people for a long time. You guys have like a structure, something that you've created and built up together, something that everybody has like a role that they play to uphold the structure, to uphold the order, to keep the system moving, to keep it going. And I feel like your decision is going to impact that order, that pre-existing order, that structure that is there. And you might feel like really guilty. And that's probably why maybe you haven't said anything. I feel like maybe this is a secret. This is something that you're still thinking about to yourself. You're not really sharing this or expressing this yet, because there's a level of guilt that you feel for wanting to move in a different direction. Because I feel like maybe you thought that this was it, that this was kind of like what you were going to be doing. It was something that worked for you, brought you a lot of stability, that was very successful, but I just see there being some type of decision here needing to be made. It's a difficult decision. It's one that you are still not clear about, but it's one that is going to impact you on an everyday level, where you feel like you're going to be more aligned to the work that you want to do, that you want to put out, that you want to create. It's your way of being more, like I mentioned before, like free to have your own creative expression. Maybe you just want to work alone now, but I do see like you trying to do what's best for you, focus on you, try to be, true to you. But there are other people here, I think, that you are considering. I don't think that this is going to impact just yourself. So I do see you kind of like feeling stuck, or feeling like this is just really hard, like a really hard place to be. Like being stuck between a rock and a really hard place. And I feel like you have the right idea, like you know how to navigate this, what it is you have to do. You know that you want to stay true to yourself. Like I feel like you have a pretty good head on your shoulders. You know what you have to do, but it's just taking that action to like make it actually happen, because it's just something that you're still just daydreaming about, thinking about, pondering over, contemplating. Like it's not something that you've told anyone or that anyone even knows. This could be just like your secret. Everyone else could think that things are fine. It's possible that no one could even guess that you're even considering, changing things. But I think it's because you're still trying to get like your mental clarity, and you're still trying to regain control of your mind so that you can really make a decision that you feel is sound. Because at the same time, I do feel like you feel that you're also still very hazy and confused, and maybe some of these options that you have, you're like, are these options? Like what if this is not even an option? Like what if it's just in my head it's an option, but really it's not gonna pan out, or really it's just not what I think it is? What if I'm not seeing things clearly, So I do see a level of that here, and I just feel like there's always going to be things that are going to be unknown. Like we're never going to know the ins and the outs of situations before stepping into them. Like you do have to trust your intuition, listen to your internal guiding system, try to find where it's moving you. I do see that you are very like emotionally, you know what you want, you're emotionally stable, mature, you understand your emotions, where they're coming from. Like I do see you like in a very elevated place as far as emotions. So because of that, I'm going to say to trust your emotions, because of course emotions can lie to us. That is possible. But for you in particular, I'm not seeing that your emotions are lying to you, because I do see that your emotions are kind of like in an elevated place. Like you are someone that takes accountability, takes ownership over your things. You keep yourself regulated. You understand emotions and human behavior and all of these things. And yeah, that's definitely like how you're coming across, as a very like stable person, solid person. I feel like you know what you want to do. You know that this is what's going to fulfill you. But of course, like is natural, we start second guessing, we start questioning ourselves. We start like, well, is that what's going to make me happy? What if I'm totally wrong? What if I'm totally off? What if I'm not seeing things clearly? What if I'm not perceiving things clearly? So yeah, it is just a matter of trusting yourself, knowing that what you are perceiving and what you're seeing is what you're meant to be seeing and perceiving right now. This is your process. This is where you're at. This is how you feel. And you just have to do your best. So it's just kind of like stepping into the unknown and trying to have like a positive outlook, and just everything is unknown at the end of the day. Like the more you know, the more you know that you don't know. So everything at some point becomes unknowable. You just have to believe in yourself, trust in yourself, follow your intuition, follow your gut, and take the actions. You do have to put yourself first. You do have to think about your own well-being, what's going to make you happy in the long run, in the long term. What is it that you want to build? What is it that you want to invest in? Everyone gets to choose for themselves, you know? So it's kind of like knowing that you're not gonna make everybody happy, but I feel like you feel like, but these are like my family. How can I go against them? This is like betrayal. Like you just might feel like very like bad about this. It's like you know what you have to do. You just feel so bad about it. And then it just makes you question everything. But again, you can't please everyone. You know, you do have to put yourself first. You do have to be true to yourself at all times. And just know that everyone has the right to choose for themselves. You have that right. So do those around you. And everyone just kind of has to respect everyone's decisions that they make for themselves and kind of just take it as it comes, you know? I feel like you're going to cause a tower moment here, which is like a big shakeup, a big destruction, where things are deeply just restructuring, deeply changing, causing kind of a shock or an instability. If you feel that's what needs to happen, then so be it, you know? Don't be afraid. Choose you, choose yourself, and trust that, you know, you're being led, you're being guided, you're feeling a pull. Allow yourself to explore that, to move in the direction that you're feeling pulled to, and just see where it goes, see where it leads you. Because I think it's going to lead you down a path where you will be very self-sufficient. You will still be able to provide that stability for yourself and take care of the things that you need to take care of. I see you definitely still being engaged with your work, with your everyday responsibilities in a very beautiful way, like in a way that you really enjoy, that's very creative, colorful, exciting, and it's just what you needed, you know, it's like exactly what you needed, exactly what you want, the change that you were looking for, the fulfillment you were seeking. I see it being a very beautiful shift here, but it's like you have to go through something kind of tricky to get to it, and then it's like you don't have a clear trajectory, like a clear road. I feel like you're looking for that. You're looking for that clear road to this, and there's just like so many different doors that you can go down, and it makes it more confusing like that. And yeah, so but I think once you just decide, the road starts kind of getting clearer. But when you still haven't decided, when you're still kind of second guessing yourself, when you're not trusting yourself, when you're still trying to like figure it out, trying to get that clarity, it can seem a little bit like clouded and all over the place. But once you decide and you take action and you just go for it, it starts becoming clearer. It's not going to happen all at once. It's going to happen in stages, like as you make decisions, as you keep moving forward, as you keep going along, you start, you know, seeing like another part open up, and then like another part will open up, and then you'll be like, okay, I think I'm seeing a pathway here. Like I think I'm seeing something here. I think I'm getting a clear trajectory here. So let's see. What is the advice from Spirit? Spirit wants you to take action here, to move forward. I feel like there is some type of situation that you feel is a lose-lose situation. I don't think that's going to change, unfortunately, in this case. This, you know, like what is being eclipsed out of your life is you living for other people, trying to please everyone, trying to please others, trying to uphold something that you just aren't truly deeply feel that you're benefiting from any longer, that you may have outgrown, that you may just not simply be into anymore. And I do think that there are going to be losses here, and it's just kind of accepting, you know what I mean? There's this quote, and it says, when one cannot find a solution, Maybe there is no solution to be found. Maybe it's just a truth that needs to be accepted. And so I feel like that's how it is for you. It's just something that you just need to accept. Oh no, these cards aren't showing. Let me show you. Put them up here so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so like I was saying, it's kind of just accepting, like, it is what it is. This is what's gonna have to happen. Knowing that that's just the way that it has to go. There has to be someone maybe that you feel like you're going to disappoint, that you're going to let down, that it's just really gonna hurt you to do this. You're just really gonna feel bad about this. But once you're able to just get it out in the open, talk about it, take whatever loss this is, you're gonna feel free. You know, you're gonna feel like yourself. You're gonna feel like liberated. You're gonna feel like you're gonna be able to now express yourself freely, truly, walk with purpose, you know, and you're gonna feel liberated. And with that feeling of liberation comes great joy and happiness and feeling free to just live your life how you see fit and go in the direction that you want to go in freely, you know, without having to consult with anyone or consider anyone. You know, you can just think about yourself. And what I like about this is that it's a very mature energy. We have 3 kings here, by the way, the King of Water, Pentacles, and Wands. So I feel like this is a very mature energy. This is a very evolved energy. This isn't an energy that is like just, you know, moving through life based off of their like lower instincts or based off of like lower desires and things that are pulling you in, coming from like lower, you know, your lower nature. I feel like you're someone that you have that under control. You are acting straight up from your passions, from your creativity, from your truth, your purpose. You're very like assured, like self-assured. You're already like comfortable with who you are in your skin, what makes you happy, how you want to express yourself, how you want to be, how you want to live your life, you know, what you want to do, what that's going to look like for you every day, you know? So you're just getting ready to be truly who you are, be true to yourself, and finally tell the people around you your truth too. Despite who it's going to disappoint or who it's going to hurt or who it's going to affect. Maybe these people that this is affecting, maybe they're also stagnant, and maybe this is actually going to help them too, you know, like you're initiating something, you're initiating a change that you feel deeply you need to make, but that also by you taking this choice and you making this action, it's like a chain reaction and it's going to influence their lives in a way that's going to be beneficial for even them, you know, and it was because you finally were able to speak your truth, come clean, open up about what it is that you want, what it is that you're feeling, what it is, you know, that you want for your life, what direction you want to move forward in. So it's just becoming very clear with your decision, making a choice, using your discernment, listening to your gut, trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, making sure that you honor your truth and how you really feel, and that you step into the unknown with grace and with optimism, because I feel like you are going to be very successful here and you're going to be very happy and you're going to feel very liberated and free to finally just be yourself and be free to do whatever it is that you want to do truly for yourself in your life. Experience the things you want to experience, explore the things you want to explore, become a part of the things you want to become a part of, you know. Be free to do what it is that you want to do. You owe it to yourself to do this for yourself. Everyone has the right to choose for themselves. You can't always please everyone. You can't always make everyone happy. I feel that's something you need to hear right now. So let's see then if we can grab some oracle cards to see if there are any further messages that Spirit would like to tell you, any advice you need to know, how you can move forward in this situation. So we got challenge, awaken, achievement, and awareness. It's 3 A's and a C. So challenge. So yes, this does seem to be a very challenging situation. Spirit is acknowledging this is a challenge. But challenges are meant to expand us, to grow us, to make us push past our limits, past our bounds, so that we can gain more perspective, so that we can expand, so that we can grow, right? And awaken. So I feel like you're definitely awakening to something. You're awakening, you're feeling that pull, you're feeling that you need to move in a certain direction, that something needs to happen, something new. You're trying to build a new foundation. You're trying to set your roots somewhere else, or seeing the need for that. Spirit also wants you to know that you're going to be very successful. I think you already are a very successful person. I see a very I see a successful person that has achievements, that has accomplished a lot. And I feel like this time is going to be no different. You're going to continue to succeed, and you're going to continue to feel accomplished. It could also be that you are you're someone that likes achievement, so it could be like that's what's holding you back, is the fact that you want to make sure that it's an achievement and that you win and that it's a good idea. But stepping into the unknown, it means that you're not sure that this is going to be a good idea. You're not 100% positive that this is going to lead to an achievement. It's a matter of kind of releasing control and just being open, being open to receive whatever it is you're supposed to receive out of this. It's just having a different type of awareness about the situation. You're definitely waking up to something, becoming aware of something, and it looks like it was definitely a challenge, having to come to terms with this. And you just need to trust, and you just need to trust yourself first and foremost, Trust your own wisdom, the wisdom that comes from within. Trust your own discernment. Spirit is saying you are wise, you have awareness, you are seeing something clearly, you have awakened to something, you are seeing something, you have insight. So it's just a matter of committing to a decision and having the strength to take a chance. Ultimately, I just heard Kelly Clarkson. She says, I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. So maybe that song will have further messages for you. You can go ahead and check it out. Otherwise, that was your message. I truly hope that served you and gave you the guidance and the clarity that you were looking for at this time. If you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation, I do offer personal readings. You can email me at angelireadings@gmail.com, and I will send you all of the details. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye. Hey guys, welcome to your reading if you selected number 2 or this deck right here. Today we are going to be doing a what is being eclipsed out of your life reading. So we are taking a look at what is it that you are shedding, what is falling away, what are you on the brink of releasing, so that you can be open to begin a new cycle. So first we're going to get general energies of the current moment so that you can gauge if this message is going to be for you or not. If the messages of the current moment resonate for you, then it most likely means that this is your message. If it doesn't resonate, you can also still stick around and just see what comes through if you're still open to that. But of course, use your discernment. If you find that the messages don't fit, it just means it's not your reading, and that's okay too. So once we take a look at the general messages, we're then going to go into the actual question of what is being eclipsed out of your life, and then we will be getting advice from Spirit. on how you should move forward with this situation. So let's get started. So we're first going to see what are the current energies of this moment right now for you guys. Okay, so current energies of the moment for you guys. So I'm seeing that there's some type of like breaking away from a responsibility or a tradition or something that you've been doing for a long time, something that you are kind of like in charge over, you know, it's just like a position of duty that it just falls on you. It's something that you do. For example, you could be a teacher or you could be a provider, a husband, the head of household, something like this where you are in a position of power and where you do have responsibility and things are expected of you. There's something in the situation that you don't want to face, that you are trying to avoid, that you are trying to ignore. It's definitely showing up here as like a conflict. I think it's some kind of truth that's coming out. Maybe it's that someone came to you with good intentions and exposed something to you, told you something, gave you some type of insight, and you may have turned this person away, you may have not believed this person, you may just not have taken them seriously or something, or whatever this person came and told you, or whatever it is that you may have been like intuitively like picking up on. I feel like it was something that you just did not want to face, you didn't want to look at, you just didn't know what to do about it maybe. You didn't know how to handle the situation. You just felt like you were stuck. And I feel like you continued on with like your duties, you know, knowing that something in the background was kind of off, that something here is unresolved, continues to be unresolved, and isn't even being like looked at, isn't even being handled, isn't even being like worked on. And I just feel like you were trying to just live life, keep going, same as usual. But I think things are kind of like reaching a breaking point and you're kind of getting to a place now where you need to like make a decision here. There needs to be some type of a renewal, you're awakening to something. Maybe you're getting clarity now on how you can handle the situation, or maybe you got more information now that is going to make it easier for you to kind of handle this. But I do see you needing to like see something and deal with something, you know? So you are going to see something and you're going to feel like it's time to look at it now. It's time to deal with it now. It could also be that somebody left you, somebody that you were responsible for, somebody that you had like a relationship with, you know, whether it was like teacher, student, father, child, husband, wife, mentor, student, you know, whatever the dynamic is. I feel like maybe somebody left or there was like some type of like misunderstanding or a disagreement. Someone broke away and someone left, and maybe you just felt like there was nothing you could do, like this was this person's decision to go, to leave, and you just had to kind of keep going with your responsibilities and your duties despite this happening. But I feel like things are finally going to become clear if there was anything like that, like any information that you were missing, or maybe this person is coming back to you, or maybe there's going to be like a reconciliation between you and this person, or maybe somewhere where there wasn't communication, where there was a fallout, communication might come back, some insight, some piece of knowledge, something is going to come back here. And I think you may have had to wait for this to happen, but it is coming through and showing up here as something that you want to happen, like something that is going to make you happy. I think you want to be on good terms with these people or with this person. And I think something is getting ready to happen, to shift, to make that possibility like come to life, to kind of like bring back movement from a stagnant situation, from something that you felt like just didn't go right or just didn't leave a good taste in your mouth, or something that happened that you just felt like your hands were tied, there was nothing you could do about it. but now something is about to like change and move and shift in this situation where it's like there's gonna be movement here. It's not just gonna stay in this weird, stuck, stagnant, weird phase where you kind of just felt like you just had to accept the bad outcome that this was, and there was really nothing that you could do here. But I think that things are going to like come back, realign. Maybe you guys are just going to be able to have a time to like talk things out, to get the truth out there, to communicate, just to clear up any like misunderstandings that there were in whatever, situation this was. So let's see then, what is being eclipsed out of your life? It could also be like the other way around, like that you tried to get revenge on someone else, and like you tried to, like you cut somebody off, or there was some type of misunderstanding or disagreement, and then maybe you felt like there's, like that's a lost situation, it was a lost cause, there's nothing that you can do here. If there's any situation like this that you experienced, I feel like it's getting ready to come back, and like a new cycle is going to begin. Like you're going to be able to address this and deal with this. And oh gosh, okay, so what is getting ready to be eclipsed out of your life? So I feel like you might be the type of person like that. You're really stubborn. You're a really stubborn person. I think that you're the type of person also that you do bring a lot to the table. You are someone that is about your word, like whatever you say you're going to do, you do it. And you do it well. Your word is bond. Like you're a really solid person. You might be someone that is just very experienced, is in a position of power, has already achieved like high achievements and accomplishments, and so you hold yourself up like to this higher standard, or like you're on this elevation, just because of like your role and what you do, who you are for others, who you provide for in a way. And so maybe you're not the type of person that like easily apologizes, or that easily, like if you fell out with someone, maybe you're the type of person that you're just kind of like, that's it. Like if we had a fallout, then that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna come back to you. I'm not gonna apologize to you. There's nothing, like maybe it's just really difficult to get things moving with you, because you are kind of like a very fixed person, a stubborn person. I think what's being ready to be eclipsed for you is for you to drop that like weight of being. I think what's going to really benefit you is being more childlike. You don't need to be so serious. You don't need to hold yourself up to this high standard like at all times, and kind of like have this, not this attitude of like thinking that you're better than people. It's not that, because I do see that you are in a position of power. So there is kind of like a role here that you are expected to like stick to, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like you're just really good at whatever it is that you do. You take it very serious. It looks like it's very serious work that you do. But Spirit just wants you to be more childlike, more flexible, more open, and stop being so stuck on the tried and true, on the things that it's like it's this way. I know that it's this way. I know it works this way. I have experience with this. Trust me, I know. It's like, okay, yeah, you could be right. Like you could be totally right. It does work that way. You are right. That is the tried and true way. But let's see if something else works. Let's give something else a chance. And I feel like you do have kind of like that it's my way or the highway type of energy, type of an attitude. And this can put you in situations where that's what makes you feel like your hands are tied, or that's what makes you feel like there's no way forward. There's nothing you can do here, because like it is what it is. Like it's my way or the highway. And if this person wants to do that, then like bye. You can, find your way out. I'm not changing my stance. This is the way it's going to be. And that is that. Like you're very like matter of fact. Like I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. And if you're not on the same page, then there's the door. And Spirit just wants you to be more open, more flexible, to see things maybe from like a different perspective, to maybe stray away a little bit from tradition, just to explore, to be curious, maybe even have more of a sense of humor, like don't be so quick to like cut people off, or to like have your mind made up. Like there's just like a rigid type of an energy that Spirit wants you to break past, to break through, because you're going to find so much goodness in this space. They say that like the true mark of a master is their ability to be very childlike. Usually enlightened gurus and masters, teachers, like a good indication to show you that they are indeed like at that level is that they are very playful, very childlike, very happy, very like just at ease, very open. So Spirit just wants to move you away from like the like rigid type of an energy where it's kind of like you have your judgments, you don't really stray from them, you go the tried and true route, you're very like stubborn, fixed. This is my way or the highway. This is what works. Let's stick to what works. Let's stick to what we know. Let's stick to tradition. I do think that tradition is very important, but there also comes a time where it's time to expand. It's time to create new traditions. Maybe the tradition is limiting now. Like we grew out of it. When you break a bone or something, they have to put it into like a cast, maybe wear like a splint or something. And that is actually very useful, when you need it. It's very beneficial in the time when the injury is still like healing, to keep things in place. It's healing, it's helpful. But then there comes a time where you do not need it anymore. And actually you keeping it there in place when you don't need it anymore, now it becomes constricting, limiting. So that's why we always need to know when it's time to kind of like outgrow something, to move on from something, to not stay so limited and stuck just because, it's tradition, just because this is the tried and true way. This is how I was taught. This is what worked for me. There's infinite paths, infinite realities. There is so much that you can still learn. I see you like being a very accomplished person in a very high position, but there's still so much that like you don't know. You know what I mean? There's still so much that you can learn to see differently, that you can get curious about, that you can explore. This is also like really relevant for those of you kind of looking for a partner, and maybe you're looking for a very specific type of person, and Spirit is saying like open up your options. You have so many options right in front of you, but you just keep turning everybody down just because they don't meet this criteria. But if you were just open and a little more flexible, you just got a little more curious, you would find a really amazing person in a person that you would have never thought, that you would have never given a chance to, because maybe they didn't fit all of the criteria. Maybe it was like, oh, this person was just just such a jokester, always making jokes. This person is so immature because all they do is joke all the time. You never know, the jokester, the person that's like a little kid at heart, can still offer you like a stability, but you just would have never known it if you would have never given it a chance, So it's just like giving things a chance, not thinking that you know everything that there is to know about it just because you seem to be experienced and accomplished and like at a higher level in life. It's kind of like understanding that you don't know everything and that there's still so much for you to learn, and to give things chances, to be more flexible, to just be more of like a yes person. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting that movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Like just say yes to life and see what happens, see where it takes you. Be flexible, be open. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised once you start taking this approach. So let's see, what is the advice from Spirit? How should you move forward in this situation? So the advice from Spirit is to move, to invite change. I see someone that is stuck, that is stagnant, that is holding on to their old ways, even if those old ways are just limiting. You're given opportunities and chances every day to explore something new, to do something different than you would normally do, to react different, to respond different. Don't hold yourself back from a good thing, from a good experience, because even though it looks like you're coming from a place of power when you want to stick to the tried and true, really it's coming from a place of limitation. It's coming from a place of a lack. It's like you're not seeing that life is abundant, that life is infinite, that there's multiple pathways, multiple experiences that you could have. Don't keep yourself held back and stuck by having such a rigid outlook. They want you to invite change, to be more spontaneous, to kind of like feel your desires, feel your passions, and go based off of that, because you look like someone that's very like disciplined, like you don't really listen to your desires, you don't listen to your passions, because you don't give that kind of like any importance. Like you feel like, yeah, if everyone listened to their desires, then everyone would be in big trouble. But Spirit kind of is encouraging you to do that, to listen to your desires, to follow that, like what excites you, and just explore it. Just move in that direction. Let yourself have desires. Let yourself have passions that you want to explore, and go explore them. What is holding you back from that? It's just a belief, a rigid belief that you have that you need to work on releasing so that you can feel free to explore these parts of yourself or a different side of yourself. I'm going to pull a few oracle cards to see what else Spirit would like to say to you. We got awareness, we got balance, influence, clarity, and patience. So yeah, I do think that you are someone that you have a lot of awareness, and this is not a bad thing, but I feel like, like in the guise of you saying like, I'm so self-aware, I'm so, aware of my actions, it's almost like you keep yourself limited because of how aware you are. And Spirit just kind of like wants you to let loose and be free. Like Spirit wants you to find a balance between like your duties, your responsibilities, and just being wild and free, and being able to kind of like dump your responsibilities for a day and just like be spontaneous and go crazy and go wild and just see what happens. Don't follow the rules. Say yes to life. Say yes to everything. Do things that you normally wouldn't. This is how we rewire. We are creatures of habit. So when we get so accustomed to doing something a certain way, it's almost like it just becomes a natural response. So you have awareness, or it's telling you to like have the awareness to see like when you are responding like the way that you normally would, so that you can change your response, by changing your response, by choosing different, by choosing to respond differently, by choosing to do something different than you normally would. This is how we rewire our brain. And I feel like Spirit wants you to work on that. Like just try to do things different, try to respond differently, call yourself out on it, so that you can bring some kind of a balance to your life. You don't have to be so serious, and so you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be this perfect person. You're allowed to be human and to make mistakes and to be a beginner at something. Do something because your heart wants to do it, not because it's like it's logical and it's the smart thing to do and this is what's going to yield results. It's just like, what, I just want to go and paint a picture and drink some wine. I'm gonna take a class. It's for no reason at all. This is what's going to make me happy today. There's no reason behind it. There's no big purpose. There's nothing to gain from this. It's just I'm doing this because it's what's going to make me happy. That's it. That's a good enough reason for me, I feel like you are someone with a lot of influence, and if you start doing this, you're going to see that you're going to influence a lot of people to also embrace this like type of perception. You doing this and you being able to expand, it's going to help those around you also kind of like follow your lead. Like, you're going to be a role model and how to be happy and how to, just feel like your life is always full of excitement and new energy. And therefore it brings, with it optimism. Like, you just get like this brand new breath of fresh air that you feel like that you are missing. I feel like being a teacher and being a student, it's a two-way street. Like, the teacher learns from the student learns from the teacher. Like, they're both getting influenced by each other. So it's almost like, instead of you taking on that teacher role and taking it very serious and like, I have to set this standard, people are watching me, I'm the role model, it's kind of like, you can learn from your students too. There's so much you can learn. Like, I learn from my kids every single day. The biggest lessons, the biggest epiphanies I have is just like observing my kids and learning from them. There's so much we can learn from children. So I feel like, there is so much you can learn by kind of like reversing the roles. Like, if you are a teacher, like, why don't you try that one day, reverse the roles? Like, okay, you be the teacher today and I be the student. It's your turn to teach. I want to learn, I feel like you're going to be receiving so much clarity surrounding this whole situation. It's all going to make sense little by little. But you do need to have patience, because we do have this patience card that came out as well. So just have patience and you will start seeing things clearer. It'll become clear like how to respond to certain things so that you can maintain this balance and understand that, embracing this childlike curiosity towards life is also going to make such a positive influence, and it's also going to serve, and it's also so important, that you embody, and not only for yourself, like for a better experience for you, but for those around you, you're also going to help them too. So it's just like coming into this awareness, into this understanding, and slowly, with patience, giving yourself time, to slowly embrace this. Because I think that your happiness is definitely going to come from places where you normally wouldn't have expected it or wouldn't have been open to receive it from. And just the fact that you became open, that you became more flexible, more curious, more willing to explore, more spontaneous, you're going to be led to so many beautiful things that like maybe wouldn't have happened otherwise for you, So group number 2, that was your message. I truly hope that served you and that it provided you with the guidance and the clarity that you needed at this time. I do also offer personal readings. If you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation, you can go ahead and email me at angelireadings@gmail.com, and I would be happy to send you all of the details regarding that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye. Welcome to your reading if you chose number 3 or this deck right here. Today we are going to be doing a what is being eclipsed out of your life reading. So we are going to start the reading by first looking into the current energies so that you can gauge whether or not this reading is for you. If you find that the current energies are resonating, then there probably is a message in here for you. And then we're going to get into the question of what is being eclipsed out of your life. And then we will get some advice from Spirit to kind of like guide you on how you should proceed with this situation. So let's go ahead and get started right away. Okay, general energies. So I do see that you guys are probably going through a really hard time. You have probably been going through a situation that has been really difficult. It could be even physically draining, hurting you in some way, exhausting you in some way. And yeah, I just see you going through like a really hard situation. Your emotions are definitely being challenged. I see that you are sad, kind of like drowning in your sorrows, you know? And there is some like deep conflict within that you are needing to overcome here, that is kind of like it's plaguing you. So yeah, it's definitely something that you've been doing for a long time. Hey guys, so it's actually the next day, the next morning. Unfortunately, when I was recording this reading, I didn't realize that my phone ran out of battery and it turned off, and I was sitting there talking to myself for like 20 to 30 minutes. So we did have a little bit of a disruption for this reading. It was really late anyway, so I figured I would just leave the cards out and reread them. So here we are. So we're gonna pretty much just start from the top. So the general energy here, the energy that I'm seeing that you may be currently experiencing, is that you may have been on like a long and hard and tough journey trying to achieve your success, trying to achieve your goals. I see that you're someone that's very determined, and no matter how kind of like battered you've been on this journey, how physically taxing it's been on you, not only physically, but in every way, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's just your daily routine, your life, it just seems that there is like a very burdensome energy, an energy that feels like you're going through like an uphill battle, you know, like you're just running into obstacles, resistance. It hasn't been a smooth sailing type of a journey. It's been pretty difficult, right? And of course, that can take its toll on anyone. But I feel like you are coming to the realization, you're coming to a point now where you feel like you need to make a change, where you feel like, is this worth it? Kind of like living in this place of sadness, feeling drained, maybe feeling like you're working so hard and you're not seeing any gains, you're not seeing any results. All you're getting back is just like an internal conflict that is just kind of like a result of you putting yourself through such a brutal type of a situation, you know? So it's just kind of like putting yourself through something that feels not good to you in any way, shape, or form. And you're putting yourself through it because it's kind of like you feel like, well, no pain, no gain, you know, like every journey is going to have its difficulties. I'm not going to let that deter me. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to continue. I'm going to stay determined and focused despite, you know, the difficulties, which is a really good way to be. But I feel like right now you're learning how to discern when it's worth it, you know, like, are you seeing any returns? Are your actions and the things you're investing in, will they prosper? You're not always meant to feel like drained and exhausted and emotionally unsatisfied always, all the time. Maybe that is a part of the process. Maybe feeling those things is a part of the process. When you first begin something, when you first start something, you have to, you know, have that stamina, have that endurance to continue to push forward, to see your way through, to achieve your goals. I see someone that's very, you know, determined in that way. These are very good qualities to have, but it's just a matter of, are you doing that for a reason, for a purpose? Will you find success going down this road? And I also see, you know, you having to assess that, because maybe you feel like success only comes through with hard work, by like suffering, you know, and that's not always the case. Sometimes success can feel good, it can feel happy. It doesn't have to be like this draining, taxing situation just to reach success, you know? So I do see you pushing, you know, feeling like you're, again, it just feels like an uphill battle. It just feels difficult. You're learning when this is just out of habit, because this is just what you're used to. Life hasn't really ever been easy maybe for you, and so you're just used to kind of always going against the grain, you know, fighting through the resistance, just pushing through. And I just feel like there's a deep knowingness inside that this needs to change, or like you need to assess your direction, where you're going, where you're moving, if it's worth it. Because if it's worth it to you, you don't mind doing it. But right now I see that you're kind of like at a point where you're trying to discern, like, what am I doing? Like, if I'm putting in this much work, if I feel this burdened, this tired, this burnt out, like, is this worth it? Am I getting the returns that I want to get? Am I moving closer to my goals, to my happiness? Or am I just going through this out of habit, for the hell of it, for the sake of it, because this is just the way I think life works? So that's the general energy. So moving on into, what is being eclipsed out of your life. You're learning about discerning, when it's worth it. Like when it's worth showing up and being determined and being disciplined and going through the fire, to achieve your goals, to be victorious, doing what it takes, seeing things out, sticking it through. Now you're seeing that you do need to see like some returns, like some progress, Slow progress is still progress, but there's still a progression that you can clearly track. You have to like analyze and assess like where you've been, how long you've been here, what are things looking like, what are the results that you're getting, that you're seeing, so that you can kind of like make up your mind, make a decision. Even if you have to start like from scratch, you have to start over where you have a long journey ahead of you, but at least you know that you're moving towards something that's going to be fruitful, that's going to provide results and a certain type of, achievement for yourself. We can't always know exactly how things are going to turn out. We go into things just hoping for the best, being optimistic, trusting our gut. We never know if something is going to be like widely successful or not, but you can track your progress, check in, be mindful of where you started, where was point A, and where are you now? Like, what are the progressions? What's the direction you're heading in? Like, what are the changes that you're seeing? Because if you see that, there's no changes, things are just stuck, stagnant, you're just suffering, you're just creating like an internal conflict within, you're just sticking it through and putting yourself through that torture and not really move towards anything, then it's kind of like you're seeing that you need to shed that. You need to drop that. There's something, some type of a behavior, a pattern, a thought pattern, just a belief, a core belief that you have that needs to be reassessed here, so that you know that it is important for you to feel happy and accomplished and to gain those wins. Even if they're minor, small wins, you should definitely be experiencing those progressions and those wins and those celebratory like milestones. You're supposed to be experiencing that and feeling that. Even if the journey is difficult, at some point you're supposed to be seeing some type of progress here, some type of return for your effort, for the work you're putting in. That's the cycle you're beginning, is kind of seeing clearly what's working and what isn't, what's worth your effort and your energy, what's worth it and what simply is not, what is causing much more harm than good on you, on your body. And you're seeing like, no, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. I'm not going to put myself through this anymore. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to have some self-respect. And yes, I'm still going to be determined. I'm still going to stick things through. I'm still going to push forward. But I'm also going to track my wins. I'm going to make sure I feel good about what I'm doing, about my actions, that I'm actually, seeing some progression, even if it's slow progression, that I am moving up, that I am getting further along in the process, that I'm getting closer and closer to expressing my truth, to being, my truest self, that I am seeing that this is worth the work that I'm putting in, the energy, the effort, because I do see that it is like hard work, and it's work that you have to dedicate yourself to, that you have to show up for daily. And it might not be like the easiest thing to have to show up for and to do, but as long as you feel happy about it, you feel a sense of achievement, you feel like you're moving towards truth, towards purpose, you're acting from a place of purpose and truth, this is all that matters. This means that you are on the right track and that you are moving in the right direction. So it's just like gaining that understanding of like what is stuck, what is stagnant, what you will no longer invest in, what you will no longer continue to show up for, because it's just, that it's heading nowhere good. It just makes you feel worse about yourself every day. You see no progress, you see no elevation, you see nothing happening here. And you just have this deep knowing that something needs to change, that you no longer want to live your life in this way, that you want to be smart about how you invest your time and your energy, and make sure that you are putting it towards something that is making you feel fulfilled and makes you feel good and makes you feel like you're getting closer to living out your dream, or you know, like achieving your purpose or living your purpose, you know, like that you're just on your authentic path. It's definitely time to experience things in a new way, to do things in a new way, because you're interested in expanding. You're interested, like, if you're going to be putting in the work and the time and the energy and the effort, like, of course it's because you want to be moving in the right direction. So it's time for you to leave behind the thought patterns and the belief system that makes you think that you have to, like, work super hard day in, day out. That's just the way life is. You're not supposed to ever be, like, at peace and at ease and calm. That those things mean you must not be working hard enough. It's kind of like dropping that mentality and discerning when something is worth that and when it isn't. You're becoming a lot more discerning with your time and with your energy, and like when it's worth it to like fight and to put yourself and your body and your emotions and your spirit, when it's worth like to put yourself through those things. So let's see, what is the advice from Spirit then? How do you continue to navigate the situation? What can you do? Become clear. Yeah, like just, you need to have discernment. You need to become clear. Like, when is it worth it? When is it not? You know, being able to see progression or not. Like, okay, this isn't going anywhere, I'm going to stop this. So it's just having like truth and full clarity in every given moment at any given time. You are a hard worker. Like, that's not the question here. The question is not whether or not you have the endurance and the stamina to sustain this discipline and this determination and to show up and to do what you have to do and to stay true to your duties and to your responsibilities. We know that you got that. You have that ability strongly. You're just going to be doing this forever. You're learning to discern that. And even like change some of your beliefs about it too, like some of your viewpoints. Because like I said, some of you guys may even just have that belief that it's like life is hard, life is difficult, or if it doesn't feel tough, if it doesn't feel hard, then I must not be getting anywhere. And that's just not always true or always the case. You don't always have to like suffer or put yourself through all of these things just to assure success. Like, you are supposed to feel good, happy, at ease. You're supposed to see small wins, small progressions, feel like you're taking strides in the right direction, like, you know, see some type of result, see some type of like return. And when you see those things, you know you're on the right track. But if you don't see those things and all you're getting is just like you're getting sick, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, you're just creating major turmoil and inner conflict inside, and you're just sad and emotionally depleted, your body is just completely burnt out, you're burnt out, your mentality, it's like you're just doing harm to yourself for no reason, you know what I mean? You have to put yourself first. Love yourself enough to know like when it's worth it and when it's not, and when you're going to put yourself through that, when you understand like that's part of the process and it makes sense, so I know that this is just what I need to do. And when it's like, no, this isn't going anywhere, I'm not putting myself through this, it's just simply not worth it. You're going to be able to discern when something is for you. You're going to be able to discern when things are aligning, you know, so this is going to help you make better decisions for yourself, so that you can find success, you know, but you do need to kind of take a break, take some time off. I feel like you need to recover, you need to heal. I feel like you're overworking yourself, and it's like you're keeping yourself stuck and trapped in this loop of overworking yourself to the bone. It's like becoming torturous, and it doesn't need to be that way. You do not need to work in that way. I feel like you do need to change your approach to how you view work and success and discipline and determination, and you need to unbind yourself because there's something around this that is keeping you very stuck and limited and keeping you feeling terrible. So Spirit just wants to kind of shift your perspective a little bit, put you on a better path that's going to give you the results, and make sure that the energy and the effort you're putting into something is going to get like rewarded, like you're going to see some type of an outcome for your hard work and dedication and for your effort. It's not just for no reason. It's like you are moving towards something. You are planting your seeds, you are setting your roots in to ensure that something flourishes, to ensure that something grows and becomes very solid and stable and successful. And you know that you have to rest, in order for you to have a clear mind, you have to rest. Sometimes we get so stuck like in just like the hustle and bustle of things in our everyday lives, routines, that we forget to check in with ourselves, so that you can kind of gauge like if you need to make changes, if there's something that isn't working that you need to cut out, that you need to make space for, to try something different, to try something new, or to like really get clear on the things that are working and how they're working and why they're working and how can you make them work better, and you know what I mean? Like these types of things. Like you need that time to just rest, because when you give yourself that rest, your brain just becomes more clear. You see things better. You slow down enough to be able to discern, to see clearly, to see the truth. You're not just like rushing through life and suffering mindlessly for no reason. You're actually slowing down, you're checking in, you're resting. Rest is productive. Maybe you feel like rest is unproductive, you can't rest, you have to grind, you have to, like work so that you can achieve your goals. And Spirit just wants you to move different, to make better decisions, to make better choices, to rest, to have a clear mind, so that you can unbind yourself, so that you can be able to have that discernment to know, I'm just stuck here, I'm stagnant here, this isn't going anywhere, or I'm definitely making strides forward and progression, and I'm climbing that ladder and I'm getting to the top of that mountain, Your goal here is to find balance. More so than anything, it's like to find balance, to find peace, to heal, to allow yourself to heal, to make that a priority. Make your peace, your healing a priority. Just because you feel at ease or just because you rest, it's not like pulling you off path, and it doesn't mean you're not working hard enough. Sometimes these things, resting is very productive. Not sometimes, always. Rest is very important, and rest is very productive, because at the end of the day, like I said, you get that mental clarity, and you work better when you can give yourself a break, when you can rest, Now we are going to pull some oracle cards just to see if Spirit wants to mention anything else for you guys at this time regarding this situation. Look what we have. Preserve. Exactly. You need to preserve yourself, preserve your body, Take care of yourself. You have to preserve your energy, preserve yourself, take care of your body, make sure that you're eating right, that you're staying hydrated, that you're sleeping well. If you do have a very demanding and taxing type of like schedule or situation that you have to undergo right now, it's like making sure that you're also taking care of yourself and nourishing yourself so that you are able to continue, to do what you have to do. Then we have visualization. So visualization is again like give yourself that time and space to rest. You're not just going, pushing against the grain, but you're giving yourself time to see. There's definitely a transformation that needs to happen here. You just need to have a different approach. I think you need to learn how to make better choices for yourself, better decisions. You need to see like what's working, what's not working. When is it worth it, when it's not worth it. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take a chance. But now you're able to kind of see like, okay, what needs to change because I'm stagnant. I've been working super hard, but I'm not really moving in the direction that I want to be going in what do I need to change, what do I need to let go of, what do I need to unblock, where you become really clear on what are the things that are holding you back, So it's kind of like you need to play the game, You need to be open to all possibilities and know that you deserve to win, and you will win. Because I see someone that's so dedicated, so disciplined, so determined. You just have to find the right path for you. You have to find like what works for you. You have to align to that, And the only way you're going to align to that is by doing something different, by taking a chance to change, to transform the way that you approach your life or your career or your work, whatever this is resonating with you for. It could even be like relationships, like you think relationships are hard work and they're never going to be easy and there's always conflict, but that's just how they are. And now you're like, no, I should feel happy here. I should feel like the work I'm putting in is reciprocated, that, I should feel some progression. I should feel some movement forward. You're realizing that maybe you just need to change your tactics. Maybe you need to just take some time off to withdraw so that you can see the bigger picture, so that you can get more clarity like we were talking about. I just feel like you do need to like breathe some fresh air into the situation, so that you can get like new viewpoints and so that new possibilities can become clear to you. Okay, but I definitely see a reward for effort being shown here. And things might not be smooth, but they are definitely moving in that direction. So just figure out like what is the best way that you can get to the completion of a project or a goal, and when going through this difficulty is worth it. Okay, so group number 3, that was your message. I truly hope that served you, and I hope that provided you with the guidance and the clarity that you were looking for at this time. I also do offer personal readings. If you would like to dive deeper into your personal situation, you can email me at angelireadings@gmail.com, and I would be more than happy to send you all of the details regarding that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.